Hey everybody, we just got back from Illinois visiting some family, and we wanted to talk about a fantastic little pub that we found in Rockford, Illinois, called the Carlyle Brewing Company.
Carlyle Brewing Company is located on State Street in historic downtown Rockford. It's a really nice area right along the riverfront. Carlyle, as the locals call it.
Carlyle.
Yeah. It was founded in 2003 by brewmaster Don Carlyle.
It definitely is a pub. If
Yeah.
you go, it is a pub. It's a lot of dark wood, natural lighting. They serve beer, and that's it.
Yeah. It's
Just
a brewery.
Beer.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Which, yes, 100% makes sense. It is a brewery. It's hard to... sometimes you forget. You go in because you don't really see... I guess on the right, you come in, there's the big vats and stuff.
Yeah.
But it has so much more than just like a tap room feel.
It does.
Like
it feels like a full-on pub.
It feels like a neighborhood pub that you would hang out at. Like, it has a great vibe. I personally have spent time there with my family. They have some amazing beers on tap.
They do.
That's the reason that I keep going back. Starting with, they call the OG, their vanilla cream ale.
Yeah.
It is literally what put Carlyle on the map and keeps people coming back.
Yeah.
It's a little sweet. I know that you're not a huge fan of sweet beers, or you can be, but...
it depends. I'm just going to be picky about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it is really tasty. It's like a 5% ABV. It's not terribly high, but more so than your Bud Lights and stuff like that. So, but it has a really complex flavor profile. It's really good. That's the reason I always want to go back.
Yeah. They also have an American Stout, which is like a 6.2 ABV. So it's pretty solid. It's
not kind of beer.
But then the cool thing that they do is they mix those two together. Their vanilla cream ale and their American Stout.
Yeah.
And they make what they call a Stanilla.
Yeah.
It's a mix of those two, and it is super tasty.
It is really good.
Yeah.
I ordered that the last time we went, and this last trip, and they had never offered it before, and I was so impressed by it.
I was hesitant because I wasn't sure about the vanilla cream ale because I didn't want something that was going to be too sweet.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest, I regret not ordering it.
It was really good. Because it really cuts through the sweetness of the vanilla, and adding in that stout flavor is just so tasty. It's really, really tasty.
But they did also recently add a black walnut stout, which sounds amazing to me.
Everything you can imagine in a black walnut stout. It's a little bitter, but
it was a little more bitter than I was expecting.
Yeah.
It was still good.
Yeah.
But they also offer that one as a mix with the vanilla cream ale.
Yes.
And the next time we go,
yes,
I am ordering that.
The black vanilla stout. I think it's a limited thing, so hopefully it's still there when we get back.
I hope so.
But it's really... The combination of the walnut and the vanilla is so genius. It is just so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they still have it.
I hope they do too. I mean, the black walnut's new, and it seems like it's really popular.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like they're gonna make it a mainstay, like the vanilla cream ale.
Yeah.
But yeah, they also have. If you're not a fan of any of those, they also have a Belgian blonde, an Irish red, a pilsner, a honey ale, and an IPA on tap. I think it's a hazy IPA, if I remember correctly. Or kind of a...
I'm not sure, but they keep some of their beers the same, and then they rotate some out. So
the red ale has been there most of the times I've been there. So I think that and the Belgian blonde are pretty popular. The red ale is really good. Like, I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, love a good red ale.
But the really cool thing about Carlyle is that they offer to-go beers. This is more common in the Midwest than it is on the West Coast where we're at. But they offer growlers, which are these big 64-ounce glass bottles.
Yeah.
You pay a little bit more the first time. It's usually about $4 or $5 more, but then you can bring it back, and it costs you $4 or $5 less to get
to get it refilled.
essentially 4 beers
Yeah.
for, between like $17 and $19. Like it's
Yeah.
a really
It's
great
a really good deal.
Great deal.
On really
Yeah.
good beer.
Yes, the good beer.
Yeah.
That's the important part, is that you're paying for it, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's so worth it.
They also do like 32-ounce canned beers for less than the cost that I think
Yeah.
than it would be for 2 beers.
It's usually about
at the pub.
50 cents or $1 cheaper than just getting 2 beers. Or getting 2 pints, which you can get the canned 16-ounce pints as well, but they cost the same as a draft does.
Yeah.
The growlers, the canned growlers, the 32-ouncers are becoming more popular here in at least in LA. We've found a couple around here that'll do it, but I keep searching for that growler. I want to take that 64-ounce home and drink it over the next 2 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kidding. It's just really good beer. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
Um,
They do occasionally serve food.
Yeah.
Also at Carlyle, but it's not promised.
the thing is that they did close down during the pandemic, and they did manage to come back. They were closed for quite a while, but they did manage to come back, but they have limited staff and limited food service. When we were there, on the menu, they offer every day a hot salted pretzel, which is just standard, appetizer pub fare.
Yeah.
They did also have a sweet cream filled pretzel or a jalapeno cheese filled pretzel. But again, I don't know if that will be there every time.
Yeah.
I also overheard the bartender talking about like a charcuterie plate that was being offered, cheese and meat kind of plate for that night, but it's kind of a hit and miss thing.
Yeah.
They just don't have the capacity to do it anymore, which is fine. You're not there to go eat food.
We're there for the beer.
To get the beer. But the other great thing is that if you do get a little snacky while you're sitting in Carlyle, they offer small individual packets of Mrs. Fisher's chips. Mrs. Fisher's chips are from Rockford, one of 2 potato chips originating out of Rockford. But Mrs. Fisher's chips are the greatest potato chips I've ever eaten.
They're really tasty.
Ever eaten. They're great. There's also Old Salties in town, which is another Rockford mainstay, which there's a huge debate in town about whether or not which is better.
Which one's better, yeah.
Old Salties is fine. I think I prefer Mrs. Fisher's. They use 3 different kinds of oils when they're frying, so it's like, chef kiss. It's very tasty. Sometimes they do offer to-go pizzas.
Yeah.
They have it listed on their website right now, so I would like to think they can, but it's just literally a pizza that they hand you and you take home and cook at home.
Yeah.
So I think it's more something that you would grab if you're grabbing a growler or a crowler to go home after a long day, and bake it at home while you're drinking your first beer, and then have some pizza.
Point being, it's a brewery. You go there to drink beer. They may or may not have food available. Yeah.
They're only open in the evenings. During the weekdays, usually just till 8, unless they have a crowd, then they'll stay open later. On the weekends, it's usually 9, unless they have a crowd, then they stay open later.
Yeah.
But definitely around dinner time, if you just want to go in, stop in before you go eat somewhere else in Rockford, in downtown Rockford, then definitely do it. I highly recommend it.
Well, thanks for joining us for Thirsty Thursday, and we will see you next Tuesday and next Thursday. So hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss any of our videos.
I'm going to go get a beer.
Sweet.